it's your chance to be ruthless.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test.
Hi guys, how's it going today? Today we're going to do something just a little bit different than we normally do. Usually we're looking at hay or cows. Today we're going to be looking at the bacon patch. There are a couple bacon patches because we have Ozzy separated from the misfit group because we're not going to breed him right now. We won't actually be breeding that group again until late winter, so like February-ish, to have May babies. But the other guys are all housed together right now, and Mack will be moving out of the girls' pen the end of this month because our girls in that pen are scheduled to farrow or start to farrow or have babies on September 22nd. So let's take a walk around and let's look at some pigs. These are the misfit group. So the red one right there is Ella. She is a red wattle Duroc Berkshire, essentially. She's got Duroc and Berkshire, old line Duroc in Berkshire on her dad's side, and then her mom is the one that has the red wattle mix in it. This is Chelsea. She is Ozzy's full sister, and she is a old spot Duroc. And then there's the odder one, is Sissy, and that is Merle's sister. And if you remember, Merle is the one that used to live with Ozzy. He has since gone up north of Duluth to a farm up there to be a daddy up there. But Sissy is a Magna Lisa. Her mom is a purebred Magna Lisa, and her dad is Mack, who is the old line Duroc and Berkshire. And these little crazy ones are Chelsea's babies, and they look a lot old spot and a lot Magna Lisa. Body type says that they look a little bit more on the Duroc and old spot than the Magna Lisa, but they are some fine looking little babies, and she's doing a phenomenal job with them. Cutie patooties. Cutie patooties. She had 8. And they're all up here at the fence line because I hollered for them, and they're like, oh, hey, forget the grass, we might get some treats. Over there on the edge of the opening for the bigger pasture, that is Rosie. She is actually Ella's mom. And then Mack is right there, and he's actually Ella's dad. And Mack is a big, big guy. He doesn't look like he's probably that big to you guys, but he's a big guy. He's a real big guy. He also has a really long frame, which is also a quality that I look for, and as well as docility. I'm all about docility. I don't want to produce and or sell piglets that, well, will eat your leg off, because that's no fun. So we produce things that have docility, hey big man, docility, meat quality, and good farrowing abilities. Here he comes. Hey big man. Hey Mack. These guys are all in electric fencing, and they stay in electric fencing all year. Hi, Baba. Zoom out. This is Mack. Hello, Mack. Hey, buddy. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Good boy. Come here. Good boy. Good boy, Mack. Good boy, Mack. So he's a pretty calm big guy. But a big guy nonetheless. I'm 5'3", and he comes up, oh, well past my hip, for sure. So yeah, this is one of their electric fences. And right now everybody is Mack and his women. So that would be Lucy, Rosie, and Judith are all housed together. And then, oh, the other girls are coming in because Mack's talking, so there must be something going on. There must be something good. The one that's on a hard trot over this direction is Lucy. And then Rosie is right behind her, and Judith says, no, Mack's not talking too much, so I'm not going to worry about it. But, look at that big boy. Oh, yeah. Big Daddy Mack. This is Ozzy. He is Chelsea's full brother, and he is an old spot Duroc. He actually fathered a litter for us with Ella this spring. She had babies May 16th, and he produced some very phenomenal looking piglets. He's got a nice long body as well, and super docile. Super docile. But he's mostly red, which is the Duroc, with a couple little black spots and an old spot. And his ears are pretty indicative of what an old spot should be, except for they're a bit shorter. Durocs usually have upward pointing ears with a little prick at the end that kind of tapers down over their eyes just a hair bit, but they can still see really well. Mack's ears are pretty indicative of what a Duroc should be. But Ozzy has ears that fold over his eyes just a hair bit, and it makes him just a little bit harder to move and a little bit more leery of fence lines, just because he can't see them quite as well. He can move his ears out of the way, but I don't know if it's laziness or just by choice he decides he doesn't want to. Hello, big boy. Hello, big boy. So when I'm talking about docility, this is what I'm talking about. He is very calm. He is a good boy. And like I said, his ears hang just a little bit lower, but he can pick them up. And usually when I'm messing with him, I do pick him up so that I can look at him in his eye. Yes, in your eye. In your eye. But yeah, so close up and personal with Ozzy. Let's do some fun facts while we're down here. So, pigs cannot sweat. They can't sweat at all. So, the way they cool off isn't actually by getting themselves muddy. It's actually by evaporation off of their skin. Basically, when they're rolling in the mud and they're getting all icky looking, it's actually their way of cooling off. And the weather their skin stays for longer means how much cooler they're going to be. Another fun fact about pigs is they have a gestation period, so they keep their babies in their belly for 3 weeks, 3 months, and 3 days. And I always say that a little bit backwards, but that's how I remember it, so it works out pretty good for me. But as far as docility goes, this is what I shoot for. I want all my pigs to be able to be touched and messed with and played with, and he really enjoys it. We got Ozzy when he was just a little dude. I think he was probably, how old were you? How old were you when we got you? Were you 8 weeks old, I think? No, I think you were, I think about 12 weeks. You think? When we got you in Chelsea? 12 weeks? Yeah. So he was young, and he was not this tame when we got him. But I worked, apparently, my piggy magic, and he tamed down really quick, as did his sister. These guys have a crazy amount of docility. They're very calm, they're very mellow, and this is exactly what we want in our pigs. He also has a beautiful body type. He's very wide in the shoulders and very wide in the rump, and he has quite a long body. But it's this is what we're looking for. Here we go. Look at you, you're so pretty. Look at how pretty you are. Look at how pretty you are. So Mack, I don't generally do this with him. We did not get him when he was like a baby, so I wasn't really able to handle him quite as much when he was young. But he still likes to be petted and touched and messed with. Mack's big thing in life is food. just like most pigs. They really like to eat. That being said, he's a lot more about forage than he is about grain, but he will take it when he can get it. Um, pigs can live up to 20 years old, and I'm hoping that we have Mr. Ozzy for quite a while. No, don't eat my camera. Just chillax. Just chillax. So I'm hoping that we have Mr. Ozzy here for quite a while, because they do have a really long life expectancy. And I do my best to keep them in good shape, both with their feet and their overall health and their body type, to make sure that we do get to keep them for as long as we can. You're going to go all the way up to the camera. Let's put it over here. There we go. There we go. No, don't eat it. It is super hard to video with pigs. So Ozzy himself is not a small guy. He is a little over hip high on me. And he is a very, very well-behaved young man. He is about a year old, just shy of a year old. That response that he's doing when he opens his mouth, he has a new taste that he's not used to. And so that's how he decides whether or not he likes it or whether or not he doesn't. They all do that every time they get a new taste. They'll open up their mouth like that. And what he's doing is he's clearing his palate. Because pigs, like cows, have a Jacobson's organ on the roof of their mouth. And that's also how he tells whether or not a girl is ready for him, as far as breeding goes, is he uses that Jacobson organ on the roof of his mouth. Hey, buddy. Mr. Ozzy man. Mr. Ozzy man. So you might be wondering how we house and keep our piglets and pigs while they're producing babies or gestating, or throughout the winter, because we do get some pretty cold, snowy winters. Basically, our pigs live on a pasture setting all year round. They do not get crated or penned up when they're farrowing or having babies. They are allowed to be moms. They can pick where they have their babies. We do provide them with huts. The best one that I've found is an old school type calf hut. Works the best because it has a metal frame that runs around the bottom, and it's a little bit harder for them to demolish because pigs are very, very, very good at taking things apart. They're very smart, and it's in their best interest, they think, to learn how to take everything apart. They're kind of like that little brother that maybe you had that took apart the vacuum but never really put it back together. Yep, that's pretty much pigs. They'll take things apart, but they won't put it back together. But we tend to stay away from maybe the more modern way of raising pigs, and go a little bit more towards the old school way. We like letting moms be moms, and we also like the fact that, you know, they graze. We raise heritage breeds. So those are all breeds that are kind of old school and feed up a little bit slower than the traditional confinement pig breeds do. That being said, confinement pig breeds, usually you can get them to finish weight in about 6 to 6.5 months. And for our mixes, we can get them to finishing weight from birth to butcher in 8 to 8.5 months. So I definitely think that that's a win. And that actually is on a ration type feed. So they get an allotted amount of feed a day, which is appropriate for their body weight, for what they're doing, and for what their body needs will be. So if they're farrowing or gestating, they get a specific ration. After they have had their babies, they get a different specific ration. And if we're raising them for beef pigs, then they get a whole different ration amount. We tend to keep our ration levels as far as our feed quality at about 12.6%, and these guys actually do really, really well on hay as well as a grain supplement. Our grain supplement consists of a little bit of corn, a little bit of soy, some ground up oats, and the reason we grind up oats is because they're kind of like corn. If it's not broken up, it kind of goes in one end and out the other end the same way it looks in the same situation. It's like racetrack food, as somebody once described corn for me. But that's basically what we do. And then their ration also has an alfalfa pellet in it. And we actually use Red Mound conditioner on our pigs. We top dress with it in their feed. And that helps with their feed conversion a little bit. It helps with their microflora in their gut. And it helps them with the digestibility. They can basically use their food a little bit more efficient with this product. Oop, the sun is kind of poking through the tree. But that's pretty much what we do. We choose to do it as natural as possible. All our pigs are in electric fence and or netting, and do just fine with it. We don't really ever pen them up unless they're going to be going to a different home, and the only reason that we do that then is because they're easier to catch. But yeah, so that's a walk around the pig yard, and I hope you hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll check you later. Take care,
Just
guys.
push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life.